Hello and welcome to Think Share. My name's Zach, here to bring what I've been thinking about, sharing about, talking about, listening to, reading about, to make you the goodest version of yourself. If you're new to the channel, I invite you to subscribe. Be honest, I'm not really sure what I want to talk about. I had a couple ideas today, and none of them just felt quite right, but some things going on. Get a little bit of a sore throat, so I'm going to try to get to bed on the earlier side tonight. I know it's already 10 o'clock, so I don't want to make this too long. I did just finish my grading the quizzes from my geometry class so that I can hand them back and they can get ready for their test on Friday. In other news, my sophomores are going to be taking the MCAS test on Wednesday and Thursday. So for those of you that are not from Massachusetts, the MCAS test is the Massachusetts, I forget what C stands for, but aptitude. Honestly, I don't even remember what MCAS stands for, but MCAS testing is it's a state requirement for students to get their diploma. So they actually have to pass the test to graduate. They can, if they don't make it sophomore year, they can take it junior and senior year. So we've been doing some prep questions the past week and a half or so. We've been doing some volume questions, which we haven't got to in the curriculum yet. And we've been trying to practice, and I've been trying to practice some things that I think that we've learned that, you know, they might not be super strong on. It's been a little bit on the challenging side finding the best way to prep for it. I think that the majority, I think there'll be very, very few students that'll have a hard time not passing it. I think I think it would be very unlikely that really anyone would not be able to pass it. I think that in some ways MCAS is big. They talk about big states testing, big stakes, and I feel like it's sort of a big stake because you have to pass to graduate, but at the same time, if you do well in it, there's not a ton that can come out of it. I mean, I guess you can. I lost out on an opportunity. I guess my MCAS story is when I took it, I got advanced in mathematics. I was like 99% in my age group and in my with my peers, but reading and literacy, I got like needs improvement or something. It was like there's like advanced, there's like I don't know, satisfactory or something, and then I was like the category below that, so I was it was not good. So because of that, I did not get the Abigail Adams Scholarship. Abigail Adams Scholarship is so that you can get. I'm not sure what it actually is. I stopped looking at it once I found out I didn't qualify for it, but it was pretty much that if you got, I think, satisfactory in the two sections of MCAS, that you could get some scholarship money for any state school. So I missed out on that, and I would say that for many students that are looking at going to state schools, that could be an opportunity that you could either miss out on or take advantage of if you do well enough. Um, so that's what we're working on in class. Tomorrow we're going to be looking at a couple more practice problems that I think they haven't seen in some time since Algebra 1 for my geometry students, and get them ready for tomorrow and the next day. And lastly, I wanted to say thank you to my subscribers out there. We just hit 700. Ironically, I'm at exactly 700 right now. And oh, hey, Alex. Just hit 700, and the person that commented that I think hit 700, they said, "Congrats on 700. Please sub back." And I checked their channel, and it was a gamer channel, and I said to them, they said sub back PLZ, and I'm like, oh man, I feel like this is one of those people just trying to do sub for sub. I'm really not a fan of sub for sub, and so I went over to their channel for the hell of it, because sometimes they get some good stuff, but I'm not a big fan of gamers just because I'm not one. I don't find them entertaining, and when I'm going through my subscriptions looking for things to inspire me or grow myself, it just clutters my feed, and I'm subscribed to a ton of people. I mean, that's part of building a community is seeing other people's stuff. So honestly, I'm not super protective over who I subscribe to, but I don't like cluttering my feed if I don't have to. Twitter and Instagram, I actually kind of do care. I've been deleting a ton of people off the two of those that I follow because it's my feed is not even relevant anymore. It's useless because of all the people that I follow that I don't care about. So Instagram, I think I'm like below 200 or 300 now because I've deleted so many people that I just don't care about. Only said, really, Alex? You only subscribe to two? What's the other one? I know one of them is mine. I'm curious what the other one is. Um, but yeah, I feel like sometimes you gotta care just a little bit. Poke's back better than ever. Glad to hear it, Poke. Go Bros. Um, but yeah, so I said to them in the comment, I said, I'm gonna be honest, I'm not gonna subscribe to you. I checked your channel. If you're a gamer, I'm not about the gaming life. And I said, there's no channel trailer. I don't know what your channel is about. And uh, thank you. I'm saying good. I say good luck to all my students. All right, good luck to you guys. Oh, UFC, interesting. I wonder if you've checked out Clifford because he's a UFC fighter, and he talks about similar things to me. I feel like you would like him. Clifford Starks. He comments on a ton of stuff. Very good at sports. I haven't seen him play, but I bet he is. What was he gonna say? Oh, so I commented back on this guy. I said to him, I'm not gonna subscribe. I looked at your channel. There's no trailer. I don't even know what you're about. I watched 3 of your videos. One is you doing push-ups. One is some random music with a background, and then one looks kind of like a vlog. So if you're not getting what you want out of this channel, if all you wanted was a sub back, then feel free to unsubscribe. But don't subscribe to me unless you actually care about what I'm making, because that's not really why I want you here. Clifford started very good UFC fighter. I did have known him since. Oh, cool. But yeah, so that was an interesting moment. I wanted to hit 700 tomorrow, but honestly, I wasn't grinding for it. I didn't really care. Hey Blake, I hope you saw the comments I left on your video today. So shout out to Blake. He's 2 days in a row. He sounds like he's taken my challenge fairly seriously, and I think it's pretty cool that you did that. He's on day 2 out of day 2. No, day 3 out of 21. He's on day 3 out of 21. I challenged him that if he does 21 days in a row, I'll have him as a guest via Google Hangouts, and we'll talk about things. But I wanted to see him produce something because he said he changed his name to Daily Vlogger, and I wanted to see him make some daily vlogs for 21 days because that's the amount of time that it takes to create a habit. Honestly, I don't have much else to talk about. The only other thing I can think of that I would like to discuss, but I don't want to go too into it, is I'm curious what people think of when they're. No, I'm not going to talk about that. I'll have to think more about that one. Did you say? Oh, I haven't seen your reply yet. Is the MCAS hard if you take geometry? To be honest, it wasn't that hard for me. I think I grinded it out and I did really well. But I was in Algebra 2 sophomore year when I was in high school. I'd say if you're in geometry, if you're in geometry CP, I think it could be a little bit challenging. I think if you're average geometry CP student, if you have like a C or a B, I don't think you'll have any problem passing it by any means. But the difference between like satisfactory and advanced, that could be challenging. I feel like the 30, 60, 90s are going to be the things that my students could definitely use some more practice of. We did a lot of them, and some of them still having some troubles with it. So it's been hard to watch some of my students continue to struggle with 30, 60, 90 triangles. And for those that are watching that aren't familiar with that, So when I teach geometry, 30, 60, 90 triangles are a special type of triangle that when you see those 3 degrees in it, there's a certain relationship that occurs between the sides. And I know that there's a very good chance that they're going to see problems like that on the MCAS test, which is what I said earlier was a fairly big stakes test. Oh, you're in honors geometry. Oh, you're gonna rock it. Don't even worry about it, Alex. Um, you're gonna you're gonna demolish it. I'm not even concerned. Um, the only thing I can think of, which yeah, the only thing I can think of is factoring. But if you, I, let's see. So you have Miss McCarthy. Um, I don't know that I've talked to her too much about factoring, Alex, but if you are very confident with like factoring, if you have 2 binomials and you had to FOIL them out, or if you had to take a trinomial x squared plus ax squared plus bx plus c, take one of those and then factor that into 2 parts. Um, April phrase the goat. If you had to take a trinomial and factor into 2 parts, I think you'll see a couple of multiple choice questions like that for sure. I've seen a lot of those in some of the practice tests online. If you search MCAS math release items, you'll see probably a solid amount of factoring, a lot of multiple choice. So I think as long as you put in the time, remember you have unlimited time. As long as you put in the time, I think, and you check your work, and I think my favorite part of telling my MCAS story was I once I was done with the test, I was like one of the last students to take the test, and I said, you know what, like I could go. I on the other once I was done, I could go down to the gym and play basketball with my friends, and it took a lot of I don't want to say courage. It took a lot of like self discipline to say to myself, you know what, I really want to crush the crap out. Like I want to demolish this thing. I'm willing to give up the short term gain of playing basketball with my friends to do really well on this. I agree it is bedtime. I gotta go. Um, but that's what I would say for a lot of. I know I guarantee tons into. Hey, stay weird, Poke Go Bros. Thanks for coming on. I guarantee for a ton of people, they're gonna want to just finish. They're gonna be done with it. They're not gonna check their work. They're not gonna plug the numbers back in to make sure that they work. What I would do is once you're done, take a breather. You don't have to hand your test in. You get plenty of time. Um, it- because you have plenty of time, I think people waste that opportunity. And I think what you can best do with it is put it aside. Uh, I don't know if I would take a nap, but like I don't know, clear your mind for a little bit once you've finished all your answers to the section. Go back into it, and then you can check your answers. So go backwards through them. So for example, if one of the problems is a trinomial and you're factoring it into 2 binomials, go back into that number and then check your answer. Or you could even, if you have the mental capacity, say it's a multiple choice, um, FOIL out all 4 choices till you get the 4 trinomials and make sure that only one of them matches up with the original question. Um, if you have a geometry problem, like try to do them backwards. Like if you had to reverse engineer any of those problems, that's a great way where you can use your extra time. Thanks, fucking Cobras. If you're gonna have extra time, and I think that especially for the honors students out there, especially a lot of those algebra 2 honors students that think they're too cool for school and they're just gonna zip through it and be the first ones done. I really encourage you to just pause and put your ego aside for a minute and say, look, as much as I know I just demolished this test, I can actually go back into it, double check my work, and I will gain from that. What should I work on in my videos? Hold on a second. Daily vlog. Hold on a second, Blake. So I hope that helps to answer your question, Alex. Coming back to Blake, our new daily vlogger, what would you work? I would say audience retention. I would say like today's video, you spoke for maybe a minute, and then it was a screen plopped on the ground for what, 3 minutes, and I got bored and I started speeding it up, and it said that you were gonna bust your knee, so I was just waiting for you to bust your knee, and you delivered on it. It took a while. I would say if you're gonna take the time to scoot around and have your video like that, I would throw some, if it's, I don't know, I'm just gonna be really straight with you. It was boring today. Um, I don't think there was any music in the background. And if you're gonna vlog like that, I would have a couple different camera angles. Um, all it was looked like you and your brother just riding your scooters through. Dude, I want to see you with some ankle pads and start like not like purposefully hurting yourself, but I want to see you start trying to tail whip. Like, stop wasting your time trying to bunny hop 5 times in one stroke. Like, start trying to tail whip. If you're gonna do anything about scooters, like, start doing next level stuff and failing at it. The reason it's taking me a really long time to come up with my backflip video is I have over 2.5 hours of footage that I'm cutting through, and it's gonna be a great video. I'm gonna have music. I'm gonna make sure that my cuts are up, and I'm not going for daily vlog style with that one. Um, but the way you could simply do that, have some, I would say do this. When you go out there and you're like, all right, I'm gonna go film some footage, right? Your video is only 5 minutes, so that means you only need 2 or 3 minutes worth of actual footage. So this is what you do. You get a song in your head. You think about, what do I want in my vlog? Put the song in your head, listen to it. While you're listening to it, if you can, you might be the same device and you might not be able to listen to it at the same time. Put down the camera for one spot so that you have one camera angle. In some of your other videos, you did a great job of this, having different camera angles. That one camera angle, man, ugh, no good. It would have been fine if you were standing there like tail whipping the crap out of your ankles and just failing at it and like laughing at yourself. That would have been entertaining for sure. I mean, I don't want to see you hurt yourself, but I mean, if you have some pads and you're like, oh, I messed up, oh, I messed up, and then you have like 30 mess ups, like, that's engaging. Some people find that super entertaining, but for me at least, like, that's at least engaging. Like, I get to watch you 10, 20 videos before you start getting it. One of the recommendations that I have for you is listen to Gary Vaynerchuk when it comes to creating content. He talks about documentation instead of creation. You're just documenting. Now, I know you took my advice from the other day, which is documenting, just riding through. So now that you've done some documenting, see if we can up the level of sort of entertainment value on it. So I don't honestly care about scooters, but I'm interested in seeing someone grow from being able to just do a little bunny hop onto, going off ramp, or like when you did the skate park thing, like the first time you went into your half pipe, or like I want to see you start trying to, you like scootering. Alex, tell him, what should Blake do? I can do a bar twist. All right, I didn't see any of those, dude. You gotta start dropping those tricks in there, man. So those are 3 minutes of you and your brother just scootering through. Like, if you're gonna do that, at least have some entertaining music and, like, I don't know, play with the color or the sound or something, or just cut it just a little bit short, or just, I don't know. It was just one long stream. You could have cut it up and it wouldn't have taken much time. In the wheelie, it's called a manual. All right, show us that. We didn't see any of that. All we saw was you scootering through. We just saw you moving, and there was. I was really curious as to, like, is he going somewhere with this? Like, I'm assuming he's gonna wipe out at the end or something and bust his knee, but are we gonna be entertained at some point? Like, I was mildly disappointed. What do you mean, bro? That's where I busted my knee. Yeah, but we had to watch like 3 minutes of nothing to get to that. Like 2 or 3 minutes. I sped it up to 2 speed and I was still bored. Like, if I'm being totally straight with you right now, I was still bored, And everyone else watching, feel free to hop off this. So if you go to his channel and you check out his daily, the vlog that he put out today, yeah, you do have a point. Okay, all right. I hope good. Um, uh, and I'm being blunt with you because I think sometimes we, sometimes when we're not blunt with people, they don't get the message and it's not really useful. So um, that's what I would say is see if you can change up the camera angles and start doing more failing. But you said you could barely hear last time, but I put no music. Well, yeah, but I mean, put the music for the part where you're not talking. So like, oh, the other thing is I would say, so at the beginning, you're clearly holding the camera, so you're holding it like this, right? And you're moving around, and you were like going like that, and you were like, you're kind of, you're doing some different stuff. What I would recommend is have it right there. If you're speaking to the camera, speak straight at it. Literally look into the camera. A lot of people, and I have the bad habit too of I actually look at my face. So my face is over here. Camera is right here. So look in the camera, speak directly into it. You're not having any. I'm assuming no one's having any challenges hearing me right now. I'm speaking directly at it. If you're speaking to the camera, have a point and get to it. I know it's taken me quite a bit of time for me to get over my little verbal tics and stuff, and I mean they're still not the greatest, but at least I'm trying to get somewhere with my point. So have an idea of what you're gonna say before you start recording, and then so you said, all right, and now we're gonna go watch some Scooter. So I mean, you had said you'd busted your knee, so that was what the whole thing was about. And we had to wait it. I'll give you a hint of my next video, maybe. I have no problem being surprised. So, yeah, I want to, if you're gonna do Scooter stuff, I want to see you start failing. I built a DIY backyard big ramp. Interesting. I mean, I don't want to see you like hurt yourself like badly, but I mean, if you're gonna hurt yourself, make sure to get it on camera because that's entertaining. Um, you know, if so, the other day I went to practice more of my backflips, and I found a pole vault mat that I could jump on, and I recorded the entire thing. I said to myself, if I'm gonna hurt myself, if I'm gonna get pollen in my eyes, I'm gonna start tearing up, like you better believe I'm catching that on camera because that's entertaining. At some point when I feel confident enough to start practicing backflips on solid ground on a hill, I guarantee you're gonna see well, if I end up busting my ankle, it's gonna be on video. Um, when it comes to athletic things and you're trying to learn something new, like just document it all. You don't always have to put all of it in the vlog itself, but at least have some video footage of it because I think that makes for entertainment. And you know, I think Gary Vee, he said when he was first learning how to appreciate and understand wine, he wanted to wine like the drink. Uh, he actually tasted dirt, and the reason he tasted dirt was he wanted to be able to taste literally what dirt is. So if he ever said this wine tastes like dirt, and I would know because I've tasted dirt, he said, "Wow, what would it have been like if I actually had that first video of me tasting dirt?" So if you think about, you know, a year or two when you're still, oh, bye Alex, have a good night, thank you for coming. You know, a couple of years down the line, if you're still working on your scooter and you're really good, you can be like, hey, go check out my daily vlog number 2 back in May 2018 when I busted my shin wide open and it was all bloody because I was trying tail whips without pads, right? So I mean, the cool thing about these vlogs is because it's all documentation, you can go back into time and see where you've come from. Like right now, if I wanted to, I could go all the way back to August 2016 to see the difference in how I speak into the camera versus how I speak into it now. I bet it would probably be kind of the same and it would be probably disappointing, but you could see some of the editing that I had done at first and how I set things up, and you know, maybe I have different energy levels, maybe I have different verbal tics, or maybe not. What do you think of my scooter edit? I put a lot of work into this, and what do you like like about the video when I dropped in. What do you think of my scooter edit? You talking about the one you did today for the scooter edit? And the one where you dropped in, I thought for the majority of the drop in one, it was also, I was kind of bored. I mean, the drop in part itself was good, but I think, I don't know what you're using for software, but you know, like the March and April scooter edit. I'll be honest, I don't remember all the different ones. Oh, are you saying there was one video where you edited a bunch of things from two or 3 months together? If so, I'm not quite sure what specifically you're talking about. Um, but here's what I would say to you. And the reason I've told you before to find other scooter people, I use Adobe Premiere the most. Sometimes I just use iMovie. Um, but I've become pretty good at if I'm cutting something up, I've gotten really good at, so in iMovie it's Control B, cut something, and I've gotten really fast at like using the mouse and using Control B to cut little parts out so that it has little pieces, little clips, and like I can cut up a 2 or 3 minute piece into little second pieces in just a few minutes. So I think the hard work comes from the production value of doing that is by, I use iMovie on my iPad when I do it on my computer for, okay. Um, iPad, it doesn't sound fun. I don't know how to use Premiere. Oh, and I'm making a song soon. Cool. I look forward to seeing them. Um, but yeah, I would say ask yourself what it is when you watch other scooter videos or you watch other skaters that are still learning. Ask yourself what's entertaining about this and what would I want to implement into my own videos. So feedback is good. So it sounds like you're asking me for feedback. I'm not a skater. This isn't the kind of thing that I usually spend time watching. But ask yourself, if you are a fan of watching other skater videos, what do you enjoy watching about those? So I would say use your own use your own thoughts about what you like about other people to figure out what you want to put in yours. I know that when I'm listening to Gary Vee, when I'm listening to Ollie on Mindshore, when I'm listening to Clifford Starks or Ty Speaks, when I'm listening to any of these guys, I'm asking myself, what is it that I like or don't like about what I'm listening to? How would I want to implement this in? How would I want to how would I want to use this to better my own practices? So use what you know you like about others to improve yourself. And with that, it's freaking bedtime. It is 10:24. I don't want to get sick, so keep it up, Blake. We'll keep it up. We'll get 21 days before we'll chat about this live. I fully anticipate seeing you get all 21 days in a row, and I bet in those 21 days I could see you getting up over 100 subscribers just by making good content and day after day just getting better and better at it. And just keep grinding and you'll get it. Have a good night listening for me. Hey, thank you, Patsy. All right. Thank you for listening, humans. If you enjoyed this, if you drop it a like, if you found some value in this, I invite you to share it with others. Oh, Patsy uses iMovie as well. I've been gaining subs thanks to you. I I hope that they